Okay, this is the part 2, how to braid a baling twine rope. Okay, now that you've practiced your part 1 of just your basic square braid, I'm going to show you how to start the project and then incorporate new strings in as your strings get short. And what you want to do to start is scatter your strings. So you're going to want them about 4 inches apart. Good way to do it this way. Pick up your next one 4 inches. Pick up your next knot 4 inches. Do that. So you're going to have a lot of waste, but it's in the scheme of things, if you've got all this baling twine, it's not going to be that much waste. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. So grab it, drag it down. Leave yourself enough here where you have about this much. So you're going to cut all of these off to where it's going to look like this. This will end up being a button at this end. It won't be a huge knot, but you want enough strings to work with so you can work your button in place. Tie it off, and then you'll want to anchor it, of course, to your post and start your braid. So you can almost cut all of this off right away, or you can use these extra strings to tie it off on your post. Either way, you're just going to want to leave enough so you have enough to do a button. This is another project I started on, and I'm ready to incorporate my new strings. So I've got my short yellow one here. It's the one I'm going to replace, and these are some longer strings on this side, and I'll get to those as I braid in. Okay, so we've got one on top, split the two under two. So I'm going to grab my new string. Here it is. My knot at the top, I'm going to tuck it in from behind. So now you're actually going to braid around this, and it will be hidden from the work. Keeping track of where this is at, always down the center. Okay? And after a while, it'll hold itself in place. Split your under 2 over 2, and I braided in about a few inches, I think, a couple inches, maybe 3 inches or so. That way it's got a good anchor inside your work. And then we can kick out the old string and put in the new string. And then you'll braid the old string down the center for about couple 2-3 inches, and then you'll kick it out, braid for a little bit longer, and then I'll show you how you can cut this end off where it won't show at all. When the strings get old, they tend to want to fray apart, so it's not a problem. But you want to keep track of which string is your new one. See, it's braided all down the back side, but I'll go just a little further. And then we'll kick out the old string and work in the new string. Keeping everything in order, because there's nothing worse than trying to figure out where you left off. If you accidentally drop your work, it's a job to get that back into place. Let me adjust my string here so you can still see where I'm at. Okay, so I'm getting to where I can take, this is my new string that I incorporated, and here's the piece at the top. Here's the old string, it's the shortest one of the bunch. I'm going to put behind here, right, and then I'm going to replace it with the new one. See, now I'm going to keep this little old string down the middle, and my new string's here. And I continue to braid. Working now around the old piece, and I've incorporated in the new piece. Still keeping track of this because we don't want to re-braid this into the mess because it'll mess things up. So we always want to keep track of where our new pieces are and our old pieces, where all new pieces are being braided in. This old piece has to stay out. So you're braiding it down the center of it. And this is the new string, is longer. So this will continue to add length to your work. Okay. And sometimes if you can pull on the yellow one, you can see where I started braiding it in was up here. So we've got enough of it braided in. Now you push it out the back and take your next piece and put it underneath it. And now we've kicked it out, but you want to make sure it stays out by working your braid underneath that string, so it'll be sticking out the back side. Go a little further, your regular braid. That's far enough back behind you, sticking out the back there. We'll cut that off when I get far enough down to show you. I usually save all the cutting and chopping part as the last step. So I get all my braid done all at once, and then I go back and I cut off all my extra strings. You can do it in whatever order you like. So now I'm going to find a good place to stop, which will be here. So I'm going to tie a knot in it, slip knot. Grab a scissor. So as you pull this, it crunches up the strings, it crunches up the braid. Cut it flush, work it, and it disappears. And then as for this one, same thing. Pull it so it crunches up the braids a little bit. You don't want to pull it too hard. Cut it off flush, and it works inside, and there you have it. And that's how you incorporate the new string when your old strings get short. And I'll braid a little further, and then I'll work in the next one. So you always got to pay attention to which strings are coming up that are shorter than the other, because you're going to have a right and left side, 4 on each side. Okay, thank you. And that was part 2 of how to incorporate strings. Thank you.